those of you that are on, you deserve to be honored. And Justin's going to give us just some insight on some things. I shot him a couple things that I wanted him to touch on tonight. But really, I just want us to have this opportunity to hear all the goodness and all the value that Justin always brings when he shares with us. So, Justin, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. And we will soak up every ounce of knowledge that you will share with us tonight, and hopefully end tomorrow with a month end with a bang because of all the goodness you bring. And then, of course, start February and make February the biggest month yet.
Love it. Well, first of all, what an honor to be on with each of you. Congratulations to all of you for earning the right to be here. I share with people, you always want to be where the leaders are, because that's kind of like the association. Like one of my teams when we were at the SRC, her thing was, she goes, I always want to make it on stage at each event, even if it's just during the recognition section. Meaning her point is, like, be where the leaders are. Where are the leaders? They're on stage. Where are the leaders tonight? They're on the Zoom. So big congratulations to each of you. Daphne, thank you so much for inviting me, for your tireless leadership. Appreciate you, respect you, love you. I think you're just fantastic, and I am just so grateful to be able to be partners with you, and appreciate all the great work you do, both that we all see, and then also all the work you do behind the scenes, you know, to make the business work for each of us. So, by the way, in the comments, give my girl Daphne some love over here, you know, in the chat comments. But you know, it's nice sometimes for the positivity to flow up sometimes. It's good for your teams to tell you how much they appreciate you, and it's good sometimes for us to tell, you know, our support lines, like, hey, I want you to know I appreciate your great work, you know, the hard work they put in. By the way, Miss Tina Joy, what an honor to have you on here as well. Appreciate you, and love your vibrancy and your aliveness. So I have quite a few things I want to share with you each tonight. If you don't mind, maybe grab some notes or whatever. We'll kind of jam here for a few minutes. I just got home. It was 2 weekends ago, so 10 days or so ago. I got home from Florida, and I was there with a John C. Maxwell event. The event was called The Elite. So I'll show you guys this real quick. So here's his little elite thing. Anyway, so I was part of, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not, but I was part of an advisory council for John Maxwell. So this year, I'll be part of this advisory council for him this year, which means we're meeting with him multiple times throughout the year, like once every 6 weeks. Had breakfast with him. I just spent, you know, a lot of just intimate time with the guy. It was really cool. So I want to share with you guys a principle that he shared I thought was so profound, and it's what he calls the rule of 5. So in your notes, you're writing on the rule of 5, and here's basically the story. The young man wants to cut down a tree, right? And he wants to cut down a tree, and he has an axe, a young boy, and a tree. So he walks out, and he picks up the axe, and he hits the tree 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five whacks. Puts the axe down and goes about his day. Comes back the next day, picks up the axe, 5 whacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts the axe down, goes about his day, comes back the next day. Same tree, same axe, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing the next day. So my first question to you is this. If this boy keeps hitting the tree, those 5 whacks every single day, what's eventually going to happen to the tree, right? It's eventually going to fall, right? So here's the first moral of the story, is you don't have to hit it 105 times or 1,500 times. It's just the 5 right things every single day. Just doing the 5 things every single day that grow your business. And what John C. Maxwell's insight is this. He said, it's better to do the right things every day than the right thing some days. It's a pretty simple insight, but it's better to do the right things every day than the right things some days. So I want to share with you guys on this rule of 5. I want to encourage you to maybe write some of these things down, but there's 5 things that you can kind of a litmus test that you can ask yourself of, am I doing the right things? And then I'm going to encourage you guys, and I'm going to give you some strategies here in a minute, but I'm going to encourage you to do the 5 right things every day. You don't have to do 55 right things or 105, but you need to do the 5 right things every day consistently. And consistency, I'm going to address as well. It can become money because the right 5 things are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the axe down, right? So here's what he says. Number 1 is know what you want. What do I want? He wanted the tree to fall. So you need to be clear on what you want. So clarity equals power. The more clear you are, the more power you'll be able to generate to go pursue your dream. So my first question to you specifically for tonight, and I want you to think about tonight, but then also into next month. But between now in the end of tomorrow night, so in other words, in the next, what do we have? Let's say 30 hours or whatever. It's probably a little bit less than that, 29 hours. What's our goal in the next day? The next 27 hours. What do we want? I'll share this with you. Success will not attack you. Good things will not happen by accident. You want to number one, know what you want. The boy, what did he want? He wanted the tree to fall. If he didn't know what he wanted, then he has a tree, he has an axe, and he's kind of all over the map. Doesn't even really know what he wants, right? So number one is, what do you want? My first question is, what do you want between now and the end of tomorrow? Question two is, what do you want for next month? Like, what is your goal for next month? Is it bronze or is it silver? Is it senior consultant or senior team leader? Is it director one or director two? Like, what are you going to do? What's your goal? And then what's your team's goal? And by the way, don't set a goal like, I want to be E3 and senior consultant. Like, set a goal that we can actually go out and hit. Because remember, we don't want to be goal setters. We want to be goal achievers. Okay. So number two is this: have the right tools. So if this young boy goes out there every day and he has a baseball bat, I mean, guys, he can swing all he wants at that tree, but it's probably not going to fall. Why? Because he just doesn't have the right tools. So number two is, of the rule of five, is have the right tools. We have the right tools. You have the right mentors. You have the right system. The ATM. Like, we have the right tools that we need to share. The story we just released, the company just released today, the Lean Body System video. We have what we need. We got the tools. Number three is stay focused. If the boy walks out and he sees the tree and he sees the axe and he picks up the axe and then he sees another tree and he does 5 whacks on a different tree, and then the next day he sees another tree, and the next day another tree, and the next day another tree, and the next day another tree, and another tree, and another tree, and he loses his focus. His focus is kind of scattered all over. I mean, I've got bad news, but he's never going to make the tree fall. Why? Because he just lost his focus. I'm going to encourage you to do the 5 right things every day and stay focused on the 5 right things. Number 4 is stay consistent. Now, is there a difference between your focus and your consistency? Yes. Focus is just you're dialed, you know what you're trying to do, got the right tools, you're focused on the right thing, you're not all over the map. Consistency is you hit the same tree every single day, 5 whacks every single day, right? Your consistency of consistently showing up and doing it every single day. And then number 5 is persist until you succeed. Number 5 is persist until you succeed. So I want to go back to the example. The boy, 5 whacks a day, every day at the tree. If he does that, if he will persist until he succeeds, he knows what he wants, he has the right tools, he's focused, he is consistent. It's not even a matter of if it will fall. Like, if he'll persist until he succeeds, it will happen. By the way, in your notes, underline the word until. This word can guarantee your success. The word until. Let me give you guys a quick example. If I had a quarter, like a 25 cents quarter, right? And I could flip it. Now, is anyone super good at math, on this team? Like, I know we're all probably like, not me. Is anyone like, no, that's me. I'm good at math. Okay, so here's the deal. If anyone's really good at math, I have a math question for you. Someone type it into the comments here, what your guess is. What are the odds? Someone tell me the odds that I could flip a quarter and land 10 heads in a row. What are the odds I could flip a quarter like this and just land 10 heads in a row? Someone give me a guess here in the chat. What do you guys think the odds are I could land 10 heads in a row? 1 in 10, 50%, 0.000001%. Like, what does anyone have even a guess? 50% from Alicia. Anyone else? I'll get a drink as you guys are guessing. Daphne, okay. Lindsay's saying 50, 40 from Tina. Okay. 1 in 100, 25%. So Garia is saying 1%. Do you guys want to know the answer? 100, for sure, 100% guaranteed that I could flip 10 heads in a row. Why? Because I didn't limit how many times you could flip. You can literally flip until you land 10 heads in a row. You guys see the difference there? And again, I'm not trying to get into like this mind bend, but I'm just simply saying, guess how fast a cheetah can run? As fast as it can. Guess how tall a tree can grow? As tall as it can. Human beings are the only living life form on the planet that can actually willingly limit the potential of what we could have done by our own self-limitations, like our own self-limiting beliefs, our own self-limiting actions, our own lack of focus. We do it to ourselves. We have infinite potential. Let me share a quick message on this, Kay. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna hit you with this real fast. Outside of the Great Barrier Reef, you guys have heard of redwood trees, like in the National Redwood Forest. They'll grow almost infinitely big, meaning they'll grow deep in the dirt and also hundreds of feet high, and they're massively wide. And they'll grow almost they almost never stop growing. They'll grow for hundreds of years. So here's the point. If you took a giant sequoia tree in the redwood forest, you took a giant sequoia tree that was a baby giant sequoia tree, and you put it, you guys remember back when we were kids, do you guys remember Karate Kid? Like with Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi and the whole thing? Do you guys remember the bonsai dish, like the little bonsai tree that Mr. Miyagi would trim? If you took it and you put it in this little bonsai dish, a giant, massive sequoia tree, if you put it in that bonsai dish, guess what you would have? You would have a bonsai-sized giant sequoia tree. If you took the same tree and you put it into a 1-gallon bucket, you would have a 1-gallon giant sequoia tree. If you took the same tree, 5-gallon bucket, you have a 5-gallon giant sequoia tree. Same tree, 20-gallon bucket, 20-gallon giant sequoia tree. Many of us need to change the size of our bucket. We have the potential to grow for hundreds of years and infinitely big and strong and deep roots and the whole thing. We could build an incredible life for ourselves, but we're in a 1-gallon bucket or a 5-gallon bucket. And so the way you change the bucket, by the way, I'll quickly hit you guys with this. There's 4 ways you change the bucket. It's read great books, listen to inspiring information. So number 1 is read great books. Number 2 is listen to inspiring information. Number 3 is surround yourself with great people. And then number 4 is apply what you learn. It's what I call read, listen, surround, apply. Like read great books, listen to inspiring information, surround yourself with great people, and apply what you learn. I hate to simplify it, but it literally is that simple. Like you can read the books. The books are out there. You can listen to the inspiring information. You can pour positivity in your mind as opposed to negativity. You can choose. Remember, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So you can choose how you want to see things, your perspectives. Is it falling or growing? It's up to you to decide, right? Same thing with surrounding yourself with great people. It's the reason I love people like Daphne, and I love people like Tina Joy, and I love people like Amber DeLuve. Why? Because they're great people, and we get to surround ourselves with them. And then number 4, and by the way, the most important one, is you get to apply what you learn. Just to read the books or listen to the stuff and hang out with the people, that doesn't do it. The power is not in the learning, the power is in the doing. It's in the applying. Okay, so let's go back to the rule of 5. What are the 5 things that we should do every single day? I'll give you guys some examples. And by the way, I literally want these to be examples because I want it to be something that you could literally own yourself. It's personal. You're like, every day I need to do this. It's just like this, and this. That's it. At least 5 things really well every single day. I know what I want. I have the right tools. I'm focused. I'm consistent, and I persist doing the right things every single day. Now, let me quickly say this. I was speaking up this last weekend. I was a keynote speaker at one of the top insurance/wealth management companies up in Seattle. They brought me in to speak to their guys. Their guys and gals. Their median income of this group was $250,000 each. So they were like, but they're making $1 million+ a year, whatever. And one of the guys tried to call me on it. He goes, persist until. He kind of raised his hands, kind of older gentleman. Persist until. He said, so what? He goes, there's a fine line between persistence and crazy. In other words, you keep persisting until you're like, how many of us sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, just keep going. I said, yeah, there is a fine line. I said, this is what I said to him. I said, it's the difference between leadership and management. The difference is this: managers manage to the plan. Leaders adapt the plan. Leaders are constantly adapting. So here's what I'm going to encourage you to write in your notes. I will adapt until I succeed. I will work on in other words, you're constantly adapting, getting better and getting better and getting better until you succeed. You just persist until you succeed. And when I said that to him, he tried to shoot me down in front of everybody, and instead he was kind of like, because what you do, you just adapt and you adapt and you adapt. If what you're doing is not working, then you adapt the plan. If you're hitting the tree with the wrong side of the axe, then adapt the plan, flip it over, and hit with the right side. Just get better at what you're doing, right? So rule of 5, my question to you guys is, what are the 5 things you should do every single day to explode your business, to grow your business? Every single day. Every single day. And again, I want to go back. It's better to do the right thing every day than the right thing some days, right? Like every once in a while I do this. So I'll give you at least 4 to hopefully at least get you started as far as brainstorming in your mind. Because remember, in your business and in your team, what are the 5 things every single day? I'll give you a couple ones. Invite. We get paid to invite people to look at what we do, whether it's a customer, whether it's a social marketer. We get paid to just invite people to check out what we're up to. We get paid to present. And a presentation, by the way, doesn't have to be you giving a presentation. A presentation could be as simple as tagging them in a presentation. In other words, getting them the information. But we get paid to invite people, and we get paid to present. We get paid to follow up. Like, there's no question about it. We get paid, like, every day, you should be following up, right? You're inviting, you're presenting, you're following up. And then we get paid to mentor and coach people. Like, there's only a few things we get paid to do, and that's about 4 of them right there, you know? So the point is, for your business, what are the 5 things you can do every single day to become the leader you want to become, to change the size of your leadership bucket? Because remember, if we planted you this same sequoia tree in the redwood forest, guys, it would grow for hundreds of years. The same one that's in this little bonsai dish that's this tall. It would grow hundreds of feet and massively wide, and this beautiful, magnificent tree be one of the largest living life forms on Earth, but yet here it is limited by the size of its dish, by the size of its leadership bucket. Let me hit you with one other leadership thing, and then I want to give you some strategy. So I did actually one of our leader circle calls on this, but it's what I call your leadership. As leaders, we need to step up our game. We're always like, you're attempting to step up all the time. Your leadership wake. How many of you have ever been on a boat, specifically like a wakeboarding boat or a skiing boat or something like that? But you're on a boat, and the boat has a wake. There's a wake behind the boat, right? And if you get going too fast, or if you're not paying full attention to the size of the waves and so on, you can build a wake behind that. If someone's trying to ski behind you, or trying to wakeboard behind you, or trying to surf behind you, it's just too much. The wake is too big, and you'll literally knock them over. And in fact, if the wake gets too big, you can knock other boats over, right? So here's the point. As leaders, we have a wake. The way we act, the way that we talk, the way that we post on social media, it has a wake. It has a ripple effect to where we didn't even think it would, and also we knocked me over. I'll give you guys a real life story. I went to the gym the other day with my younger brother's 10 years younger. My younger brother's 2 years younger than my dad. So my 2 younger brothers and my dad. And my dad and I, we always have kind of had this kind of sarcastic relationship with each other. It's just love him to death. He loves me to death. There's no issue. But just, you know, we tease each other a lot, and it's a little bit sarcastic. And truthfully, candidly, it's probably not that. It's actually not that awesome. Like, it's not that healthy to communicate that way. Just if we're, on one hand, you could say it's not a big deal, but on the other hand, it's just, you guys know how sarcasm is. It's one of those things that, like, it's cool, and then all of a sudden it's not cool, and you could hurt someone's feelings. Do you know what I'm saying? And where you see someone, you're kind of like always ribbing them, and they're ribbing you. It's just kind of how we've gone back and forth really my whole life. So my younger brother, who's 10 years younger than me, calls me that morning. And he says to me, he goes, "Hey, would you mind if we talk for a second?" And you already know where this one's going, right? You're like, oh boy, I'm going to get some constructive criticism. And he goes, "I love you." He starts this way. "I love you so much. I look up to you. I respect you." And I'm already thinking to myself, crap, I'm like, what did I do wrong? That kind of thing. But I also was thinking, if I've hurt his feelings in any way, I want to hear out what he has to say, because, I don't want, I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings. He basically said, "I think you hurt Dad's feelings today." And remember, it was totally, I wouldn't have thought one thing of it. And I said, "Okay, why do you say that?" And he told me, long story short, I told him how much I appreciated him calling, and I apologized that he felt that way. And I called my dad, and my dad's like, "I don't even know what he's talking about. We're fine." He goes, my dad goes, "I really appreciate calling out. Here's the point. My dad was cool. My dad and I ended up having a fantastic talk. We actually said to each other, like, let's step up a little bit in our relationship. Let's not communicate that way. Let's be more, when we say something to each other, let's be more sincere versus kind of joking and teasing and so on." But anyway, here's the moral of the story. My leadership wake knocked my little brother over. Now, it wasn't that I did anything wrong. This is, I guess, the moral of the story. It wasn't like I actually had hurt my dad's feelings. I hadn't hurt his feelings. But the way that I acted left my little brother feeling like I left my dad worse than I found him that morning at the gym. And I'm going to encourage you guys to always leave people better than you found them, whether it's on social media, whether it's with your team, on your three-way phone calls, on your three-way chats. Always leave people better than you found them. When you go into your group chats, don't be the negative one. Don't be the nasty one. Don't be the passive-aggressive one. No. Why? Because we're leaders, and we have a leadership wake. Like when we say things, people listen. When we do things, people watch. And so I'm just going to encourage you to be very acknowledging and very like elevate your game a little bit of like your leadership wake. And you say to yourself, how am I coming across to others? Because here's what I want to share with you guys. Whether you realize that you have a leadership wake or not, you do. Like your kids are watching, your spouse is watching, your neighbors, your church members, folks in your community, cross-line people, up-line people, down, like people are watching. And they're watching that, like, are you solid? Like, are you a leader? You know, are you the kind of person that piles on and, you know, jumps on all the negativity and all that? Does that concept, that leadership concept make sense? The leadership wake? Okay, I want to shift gears on you guys. So some of you guys know I used to box, and I tell people the older I get, the tougher I was. You know, like back in the day, it'd be like Junior Olympics. So like if you ever watch me backstage, and I'm sure it's the weirdest, nerdiest thing, you're like, what's wrong with this guy? But literally, like the way I get going is I start boxing, like shadow boxing backstage. I tell you that to say, in boxing, there's a term called steal the round. And what it means is this. Depending if it's an amateur or pro fight is 3-minute rounds, an amateur is 2-minute rounds. But here's the point. The way you steal the round is the last 30 seconds of the round, the fighter could have been losing the first 2 minutes of the fight, first 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But then they can click it into gear the last 30 seconds, and they become the one that's the most active, the highest energy. They like basically pick up their activity level to a whole new level. They really focus. They really because what happens is then the round ends for the last 30 seconds, and guess what the judges can remember? This high energy fighter that really went for it the last 30 seconds. Now, here's the point. In building your business, you can steal the month. You can steal the month. How? You guys, these last couple days, you can do more in the last couple days than you did the whole month prior. You know, like people will go in, you'll see them put in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% of their business volume in 24 hours. It's crazy. But you have to get focused. You have to get dialed. You have to kind of get the mentality like, okay, I'm tired. And by the way, when you fight, I'm telling you, you're tired, your shoulders are tired, your arms are tired, your legs are tired, your lungs are tired. Like you're tired, you're worn out. You're just kind of like waiting for the round to end. You want to flip it from waiting to the round to end and like next round, I'll kick it into gear. To say, you know what? I'm gonna steal the round. I'm gonna like increase my activity to like massive full out output. And the next 24 hours, I'm gonna rank advance. The next 24 hours, I am going to, because remember, like right now we have this promotion where you basically earn a Get 3 Doubler. If you remember, the Get 3 Doubler is when you recruit 3 social marketers, the company doubles your income. That's the normal promotion. I love it. Tiffany gave some boxing gloves. So check this out. Oh, where is it? So check this out. Okay, how's this? One of my girls brought this over to me. So this is Smokin' Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. I actually met Smokin' Joe Frazier, this guy right here. I met him at a National Charity Awards dinner in Washington, D.C. And then check this out. So this is signed by Smokin' Joe. So Smokin' Joe Frazier was the heavyweight champion of the world. He actually beat Muhammad Ali. And then they had 3 fights, and he, won some and lost some. Anyway, kind of fun stuff. But don't get me distracted here, guys. We're focused, okay? No more boxing talk. So here's the point. I was going to say to you, I'm going to encourage you guys to steal the round. Let's freaking go steal the round. Like let's let go of our own limiting self-beliefs of like, no, the odds, yeah, the odds of that are like 1 in 100 or 1 in 500. No. The odds are whatever we want to say that they are. Like, let's go freaking do this thing. Like, let's rally as a team in the next 30 hours and just go blow the freaking next 30 hours out. Like, if you've been ad tagging and messaging 3 people a week, let's go do 33 people tomorrow. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like all this, look, Cheryl's like, wait a second. Here's the point I'm saying is whatever that looks like for you, let's take your activity to the next level. You've thrown a few punches this round. Let's throw 50 punches in the next 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like let's like pick up our activity, pick up our pace, and let's go crush the end of this month. Let me go back to the Get 3 Doubler. Normally you have to recruit 3 social marketers within 2 months to double your commission. Every single person you recruit, every one person, you double it. So it's 1/3 easier, and they pay you twice as much. I mean, free. Let's like go take advantage of that promotion, for crying out loud, right? So that's one of the things I'm going to encourage us to really, really be focusing on here in the next little bit. Now, that leads us into our last part, which is next month. One of the things that we can do is, particularly when you get clear on this rule of 5, is you take the momentum the inertia that we go build. Here's one of the biggest challenges we have with our business, is if you've had a massive locomotive, like literally this massive, 250,000 pound locomotive, to get that thing to move 3 inches, is like, it takes all that it's got. Let me actually see if I can pull up my notes real quick. Check this out. I'll share with you guys some notes from my studying this morning. Sorry, I should have had this ready. Let me pull this up. Give me 2 seconds here. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can find it for you real fast. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I think this is so important. What is it under? Pay the price. I've got my notes on my Evernote. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. Okay, if not, I'll just paraphrase it. Okay, here it is right here. I found it. Okay, here's the deal. Oh, where is it? Okay, I found it. Whew, phew. Okay, here's the deal. The Apollo space mission, when they first launched a rocket into space, okay, I want you to follow me through on this. It had 930,000 gallons of fuel on the space shuttle, 930,000 gallons of fuel, and it had to travel 478,000 miles, to the moon, orbit Earth a few times, then come back. So 930,000 gallons of fuel, and it has to travel 478,000 miles. Now, here's the deal. Over 500,000 gallons of the fuel was used in the first 2 miles. So guys, it needs to travel 478,000 miles, and it used in 2 miles, it used 500,000, more than half of the fuel. Here's the point. Each time you start a new task, you have to overcome the inertia of that new task. So here's the point I'm trying to share with each of us. Is what happens in our business. I love what Maxwell says. He said, it's better to do the right thing every day than the right thing some days. Why? It's because once you come to that dead stop, you have to use all that inertia to move it up again, right? Versus the right thing, and you get the train going a little bit, and then you get the locomotive going a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and your wheels start to move, and you've actually got a business that's going. Are you guys following that logic? So the point I'm saying is, let's literally start tomorrow, or tonight, and let's freaking crush this month. Why? So we're gonna crush next month. We got the same whole promotion all of next month. And so I love that, Lindsay. Momentum turns into motivation. By the way, the flip thing's true. Your motivation turns into momentum, and the momentum turns into motivation. It's like success creates momentum, and momentum creates success. It's like you just kind of start making these decisions I'm gonna go do this thing. So that's what I want to share with you ladies tonight, is let's go light this thing up this month. So let's go steal the round. Let's go win this round this month. Why? So we win the round, and if we go to the next round, next month with a little bit of mojo, a little bit of the wind at ourselves, a little bit of momentum in our back. The wind's in our back, right? We've got some momentum. Whenever you let your business the train comes to a stop, getting it to move at all is the hardest part. You have to start all the way over, and get the wheels to start to crank a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay. Can we, if you guys are down, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to just jam here for a couple minutes, but I want to just cover a couple kind of key points here real fast, but love you love you ladies. I respect you so much. And by the way, I'm sure there's some dude on here. Sorry, but if there is, I'm so sorry. It looks like mainly ladies. Okay. So, just respect you, ladies, so much. I'm so grateful to be able to come share with you for a few minutes. If anyone has any questions, feel free to to jam here real fast and just respect you guys a ton.
You guys are all muted, so if you have anything, you can unmute yourself. Don't hesitate. This is your opportunity. You have Justin Prince at your disposal for another few minutes. So is there anything special we should be doing with these promotions as far as like the rank up thing? Let's talk about that a little bit, because this is such an opportunity for people. Like, we have the get one doubler right now, right? And if we're using that as a really good recruiting tool, people could really be building significant amounts right now. People could be coming in with a brand new kit today and be adding people to their team tomorrow and be getting paid right away, right?
Yes. Yeah, so here's the deal is we get extra bonuses, and Daphne, this is on the rank you hit last month. So this isn't like your top rank you've ever hit in your whole life. And maybe you fell back a little bit. No. Whatever rank you hit last month, so on the builder side, so if you were a team leader last month and you go to senior team leader this month, they give you an extra 25% cash bonus in addition to your normal bonus. So that's on your team builder bonus. So the point is, we want to be using that like crazy right now to drive to the next rank. I'm telling you guys, you always want to be where the leaders are. The leaders are like rank advancing. It's just one of those things where you're like, I'm doing this thing. Like, I'm a team leader and I'm going to senior team leader. Like, come hell or high water, I'm going to figure this thing out. I know what I want. I have the right tools. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to persist until I succeed. Like, you just use that kind of same mentality, and this same bonus they're letting us do next month into February. So the same momentum we could build to end the month is the same momentum we're going to head into next month. I mean, guys, we could come up at the end of February and you've ranked up a rank or two. Like, in other words, you're like, oh my gosh, now you got some steam heading into the spring. So absolutely, I think we should be using that right now, Daphne.
Awesome. I dropped it in the comments, but I don't know if you saw it. Do you have some suggestions on some books related to self-limitation? Like, what would your top book suggestions be for that?
I have so many, darn it. So here's what I'd share with you guys. Let me first share this on books. I've made this. Okay, when we're in school, like when you're in middle school or college or high school, you have to take classes that you have to take. Like, they're like, you have to go to craft, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even care about crafts, Or like, you have to go to algebra, and you're just like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to use this. When you become an entrepreneur like us, you don't have to study anything. You can study what you want to study. So here's the first thing I share with you guys on books is like, what would you be excited to learn right now? Like, I'm talking like when you wake up in the morning, I have stuff right now. The notes I just pulled up, and I'm so sorry for the pause there, but the notes I just pulled up are notes I study every single morning. It's a Darren Hardy, basically it's an online course that I purchased, but it's a Darren Hardy on productivity. And I'm excited to study it. Like, I look forward to it. Like, I have my notes and I'm like ready to go. I sit by my fire at 5:30 in the morning and I do my little studying. And I tell you guys that to simply say, find things that you're excited to learn. This is gonna shift learning from like, oh my gosh, like I have to do like grind through this terrible book to like, I can't put this thing down. Like, I'm excited, I'm learning. So that's the first thing. One of the best books I think for just for productivity, for getting your head right, is called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. A bunch of us have probably read this. I would almost, by the way, let me share with you what my mentor told me about books. He said, don't read books. He said, study books. And that's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do. Like, in other words, your goal, by the way, I'll tell you another thing I do on books. Most of my books are audio. I do some physical reading. Most of them are audio. I have books that I study, and I have books that I basically relax to. Like, I'm at the gym. Like, I'm finishing. And have you guys seen in movie theaters right now? There's a movie called 12 Strong. It's about the first 12 Green Berets that went into Afghanistan after 9/11. So I'm reading that book. I just think it's fascinating. I just like history and whatever. But I'm not. Besides, I think the story's really cool. I'm not reading it so I can pull out all these like 700 leadership principles, right? I'm reading it because it's a fascinating story. I love it. Tiffany, I love it, girl. She's like dropping 7 habits on us. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is don't read books, study them. So what I'll do, the app that I use, and you can use whatever you want. Let me show you this. Sorry, I got to move my computer to show you guys this. So I have like a productivity planner. I got this from Maxwell, but the app I use is called Evernote. EVER Note. So Evernote. And it's just awesome. It's just freaking awesome. But I use Evernote. All my notes, all my speeches, all my stuff, I'm constantly, just writing it all in there. That's what I was pulling up when I was making you guys wait. Sorry. I was just pulling up my Evernote notes. I have my little notes. And that's where I will pull quotes from and so on. So here's the point. Pick books like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and then study the books. Don't just read them. You want to study them. Tanya's saying, do you use pens for Evernote? Tanya, is that like a digital pen? Because I actually just type. I don't even know what that is. Daphne, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's kind of how I do that. Cool. Tanya, I've never heard that one. So I think she's saying there's like some sort of a digital notepad of some sort. And I've never used that. I just type. Like when I went to the Maxwell thing, I just sat there and just typed like a little school child, just like trying to soak up all of his wisdom, But I'll share this with you guys. As leaders, you always want to be one book ahead of your team, one audio ahead of your team, one event ahead of your team, one conversation with your upline ahead of your team. What I mean by that is simply this, is you want to have something to share or something to give at all times. Like when Daphne texts me, hey, would you be willing to do this Zoom? Of course I would be. But what if I never would have studied any of this stuff? What if I wouldn't have gone to the Maxwell event? Are you guys following what I'm saying? Remember I said, read, listen, surround, apply. What if I never would have surrounded myself with those people at that event? Well, I wouldn't have known the rule of 5 thing that we started with today. Does that make sense? Like I wouldn't have known like all this stuff. You want to be a river where it just flows through you. You're constantly learning and then it just pours right through you versus a reservoir where you just soak it all in and it just stops. Like just want to be a river where the information's passing through you to your team. You always have another book to share. You always have another insight to give, another perspective that you've learned. And I love what Maxwell says. He says, you don't have to teach people. You just share what you're learning. It's one of the things I'd encourage you to do on your Facebook Lives. Like, you don't have to be the genius of everything. Just share what you're learning. Hey, this is what I'm learning. This is what's my experience has been so far. And so people like to be part of the learning experience where they're learning with you as opposed to always learning from you. And what I mean by from you is everyone sit down. I'm the teacher and I will tell you everything. I'm trying to share with you guys just things that I'm learning, insights that I'm gaining as I'm, kind of going throughout my studies as well. So that's what I would encourage you to do is constantly be learning, but you're constantly learning so that you can share. In other words, when you teach things or share things, that's when you own things. Does that make sense? If you guys ever, like when you teach something, guess who really learns the most? You do. And so it's like when you give a talk at church, like you're the one that like knows the most, because you're the one that had to prepare all week and that whole thing. So I would just encourage you guys to it's what I call ILT, invest, learn, teach. Invest in the information, learn it, and then teach it.
I have one for you. So I'm listening to Tribes right now, and it's just fascinating to me. Just some of the people that I follow and how they've created a tribe of people. And I was telling Daphne the other day, this one specific girl that I follow, I said, it wouldn't matter what she did. Her people aren't leaving her because of the tribe she created. And so, just what are some insights of yours of creating, obviously, a healthy tribe of people where people feel a sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves?
Love that. Such a good question. I have a couple kind of feelings on that. If you haven't watched, even if you have watched it, I'd encourage you guys to go back and go to YouTube and type in Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, Simon Sinek, or you could just type in a golden circle or start with why, either any one of those would pull it up. But he has this thing where he basically talks about, Teenage Joy, he really talks about truly the tribes, right? Like he talks about Martin Luther King and like the people that even Apple built this, like just this cultish tribe of people that are like, I love Apple. And he says that people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. In other words, people buy, they want to, how does he word it? It's basically they buy why you sell. In other words, your why, like the deeper reasons of why you're doing it. I would encourage you guys as you're building your business, absolutely talk about your deeper reasons. It's not just about trim, and it's not just about the commission, and it's not just about hitting a rank. It's like dude, how's this for practicing what I preach? Do you guys want to know why I started networking? I'm trying to get all emotional on you. So I was 25 years old. I'm driving down the street. My little boy was 1. He's in the car seat behind me. I was taking him on a little adventure for a second. I get a phone call, and I remember thinking to myself, I wanted to make that little boy proud. I know it sounds so cheesy and so goofy, but it's the truth, dude. It's the truth. I also wanted to make my wife proud. Those are the 2 reasons. Now, I'll share this with you. Now, by the way, I'm getting like a little deep on you here. So if I weird you out, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to weird you out. But I did all the little homework that I knew how to do at the time, which I didn't know how to do any homework at the time. I was 25 years old. Never done network marketing my whole life. And I went to a place that was kind of like a sacred place for me. And I basically was praying and just like contemplating and asking myself. And okay, I've never told this on a stage in my whole life. I've never told it on a conference call. In fact, it's the first time I think I've ever told this on a Zoom. And by the way, I don't know how I would tell this to a prospect. So take all this with a grain of salt right here. But I felt, I'm not trying to say God talked to me, but I'm not trying to say that. But I will say just that feeling in your heart. Have you guys ever had that kind of feeling in your soul, right? And the feeling was yes, you should do it. Because I was asking, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? The feeling was, yes, you should do it. And the feeling was millions of people will hear your voice. Like that was the feeling that I felt. It's like, yes, you should do this because millions of people, like you'll be able to impact millions of people. They'll be able to hear your voice. And I tell you guys that to say, I wanted to quit so many times doing this over the last 12 years. Like there's so many days where I was like, I'm done. That's it. It's over. Screw this. Forget them. Like I'm done. I've had it with this freaking dump. Like I've never worked harder for less money in my life, you know? And I didn't quit because of that feeling. Like I felt like I was supposed to keep going. And again, I know I'm getting kind of deep on you here for a sec, but I'm just saying, I feel like I was supposed to do it, like supposed to do it. And so I share that with you to say that was like a deeper why. And so that's hard to share with a prospect, that deep of a why, I guess. But I would say, encourage you guys, like I'm doing this so that I can raise my kids with a mom that they see succeed, or that I raise my kids with a mom that they see that she sets and hits goals. You tell that to a prospect and you're not manipulating, you're dead, you're being dead sincere. Dude, I'd buy anything from you if someone said that to me. Like I'd sign the check right there. So do you guys follow that? Like people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. They buy the deeper reasons behind it. And so I would encourage, that's one thing, Tina Joy, it's just why. The other thing is, okay, so this is this advice on the scale, like don't let the scale go like this on this advice. Just balance the scale on this advice. The one piece of advice is I want you to paint with a broad brush. I don't want you to like paint with this little itty bitty brush where you offend every single person except for these little teensy little strokes with your tiny little brush. I don't want you to do that. I want you to paint with a broad brush where you like can attract a bigger tribe. But, okay, now follow me through. But you can also set a culture in your team where you don't have to have everybody. Okay, so you guys see the balance here, what I'm trying to say? Like the culture is, remember, this is really something I want you ladies to know. Please, I beg you that you hear what I'm saying right here, okay? When someone joins you, you're not lucky. When someone joins you, they're lucky. Why are they lucky? This isn't from a place of arrogance. Because think of the heart, the passion, the experience, the love, the time, the energy, the multiple layers of support of people with heart, passion, love, time, energy, drive, entrepreneur fire that we're going to pour into that new person. You think they're lucky that we're now lucky because we have a new recruit? No, guys, you're going to pour your whole life into this person. Like how many of us? I mean, it's 9:46 your time, and here we are jamming. Like I'm trying my best to pour into you guys. The point I'm trying to say is it'll be 11:30 at night. And you'll be on the phone with them. Hey, you can do it. Hang in there. You're doing fine. I mean, how many of us have done that, right? We'll pour our whole life into people, like our whole soul into people. And yet we recruit sometimes like a little wimp. We recruit like, please, I'll do anything for you. And I'll help you. And please, I just would mean so much if you finally, if anyone would join me. And then we kind of push them away versus like, look, sweetheart, I'd love to work with you. And I think I could really help you hit your goals, your dreams, your objectives. And I'm going to be here every step of the way to help you do it. You take one step, I'll take two. But you need to meet me halfway. Like you take a step, I'll take two. I'll match you energy for energy, step for step. You'll never have in your whole life someone's going to pour more of their life into you. But I'm here for you, and I'm going to serve you, and like, let's go. That's the kind of passion that like builds a culture of people that are like, freak, dude. I want to be around this girl. I want to be like, she's electric. She's got like something about her. You're just following kind of that general concept of what I'm saying. This is how you build a tribe. You build a tribe by not needing every single person. You don't beg people to join your tribe. You attract people into your tribe. And you say to them, I'm going to serve you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to help you. They're going to love your energy. Like, Tina and Joy, you have one of your like gifts from God, in my opinion, but also something that you've nurtured is just this vivacious energy and this passion that you can kind of like come out with, and just such a relatability, such a fun, you're such a fun, neat lady. That's what people are attracted to. And all of us have our own things. We don't have to put Disney ears on like Tina Joy does to like be us. You can be us. We can all be unique. So the point that I'm saying is, I'm just going to encourage you ladies to paint with a broad brush. Don't offend everybody every time you talk and think you're going to attract everybody. But at the same time, you don't have to have everybody. You're the gift. Like, this team is the gift. They're going to get all the best of Daphne. They're going to get all the best of you. They're going to get all the best of all of us. That's like, that has value. Our time has value. Our passion and heart has value. And if they don't want it, find someone who does. Always work where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So don't always work where you're just tolerated with everybody. Work where you're celebrated. They want you to be there. And that's part of the passion that you want to share with people. How's that for like a really long answer to your short question?
It was awesome.
I love it. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Okay, well, I love you, ladies.
Thank you so much for giving us all this time from your evening. I appreciate it more than anything. I'm sure everyone on here, they're dropping all the thank yous. It is appreciated so very much. There's always so much to take away, and I was recording this for anybody from the leader group that didn't get on, but I'm going to go back and watch it for myself because it was that good. So thank you so much.
Well, honored to be here. Again, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for earning the right to be here. Huge congrats, guys. That's awesome. And then Daphne, again, just appreciate you, girl. Guys, let's go close this month strong. We got the only limits we have are the limits we give ourselves. Let's go close this month. The Magic of Thinking Big, if you compiled the whole book into 7 words, he says, you are what you think you are. So my question is, what are you? You are what you think you are. So what do you think you are? And what do you think is possible tomorrow? Like, what can we do for the rest of the month? You are what you think you are. So let's go light this thing up.
Love it.
Okay, love you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys
Talk
later.
soon.